And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Feel Good Show. And if I'm not mistaken, I do believe we got my main man, T-Boz, on the line. Good morning, T.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. So nice to see you again. Last week, we couldn't get together. That's fine. Life has its challenges, not problems, challenges. And wow, you're looking sharp in your Yankee hat. And they're in fifth place, dude. But, you're hopeful.
Rub it in. Just rub it in.
Actually, there's a quote that's going to appeal to you. It's my show. I'll do what I want. And it says, we're going to be talking about words today, everyone. Come on in. This is a pre-show thing I'm doing with my buddy. And it says, our human wisdom is derived by these two words, wait and hope. So there you go with the fifth place Yankees, waiting and hoping for something to happen. But come on in, everyone. Get the pads and pencils. George, thanks for working the door today. He volunteered. Come on in. Everyone, thank you for taking time out of your busy day and spending time with me and Jock Williams on Words of Wisdom, Moments of Meditation, segued into the Feel Good Show. So thank you for having me on again, Jock. And come on in, everyone. We got a lot to do today. It's a classmate day, so we're going to get rolling along here. But, when I was a kid, this time of year, I'd get nervous seeing back-to-school signs in the stores. But that doesn't bother me anymore at 65, Jock. What gives me the shivers is when you walk in and you see the leaf bags, the rakes, and the blowers. My impatience is still blooming, and bringing in the lawn and leaf bag. So come on in, everyone. All right, exercise. Stand up and greet the person next to you. Excuse me, sir. I said greet, not hug the person next to you. Yeah, well, I know she's pretty, but her boyfriend is in the back there. His name is George, so there you go. Okay, well, new people get excited. All right, everyone, we're going to move right along today. We got a lot of ground to cover, so we're going to go right over to Stan, the coffee man, over by the coffee pot. And Mr. Stan, what do we got in the pot today? Vanilla creme divine. Oh, it smells awesome. What? Oh, we have a decaf version. And we have bagels and muffins, fruit. We have healthy fruit. We have dietetic cookies. There's the tomato juice. Thank you, Stan. And all of this is supplied by George's restaurant up there on East Main Street. So you guys are looking for a great breakfast, go there and support the people that are supporting this show. Excuse me, Stan has a word because he's volunteering. He's not in the class. So what's your word, Stan? Oh, you want me to say it? Oh, anti-disestablishmentarianism. Well, Stan says that was a very cool word to say back in the 60s when he was in college. I have no idea what it means. Maybe one day we'll find out. Thank you for the word, Stan. And he's nodding. He doesn't have a Yankee hat on. So anyway, let's get rolling with our shout-outs because we got a lot of shout-outs here. I'm going to go quick, so hang on to your seats, boys and girls. First off, the Watermelon Festival, Cove Park, fantastic. There's only two in the state. The best one's in Torrington. So next year, clean your clothes, put away the lawnmower, go down to the Watermelon Festival. They did a great job, great organization down there. Lady Buzz and I had a blast. Ellen Schumann, Veronica's longtime friend. They met when they were having babies 42 years ago. She was on the front page of the New Britain Herald. She is a woman who is blind, like myself. She never even drove a car. But she went to college, got a degree in art, had to take the bus. She didn't make any excuses. She did her thing. She became a teacher, and she just released a book about bullying. She supplied the artwork and the text, and they did an article about her on the front page of the New Britain Herald. So Ellen, I call her my boobala. Her maiden name was Steinberg. Her married name is Schumann, and Storm knows what that means. And so congratulations to Ellen. We move on down. Torrington Parks and Rec, congratulations. I salute you. You appeal to all of the cultures here in Torrington. My friend Susan and I, because Lady Boz was working, we went down to Cove Park again. Ecuadorian dance night. It was amazing, and it was arranged by a girl named Alexandra, 16 years old, with help from friends. The costumes, the music, the dance. We met some wonderful people. It was amazing. There's more than just Fleetwood Mac and Tim McGraw, my friends. There is a culture in this city that is vibrant, and they add a lot to the churches here and to the community at large. And next year, if they do the Ecuadorian dance, please get your butts down there. But salute to Torrington Park and Rec, because they have a wide view of the populace here in Torrington. We're going right on down to Toho Lounge. You just heard Myron from TMT. He is amazing guitar player. Bobby on drums. They had Mike on the guitar. Dominique takes care of you like you're the only person in the place. Guys, Thursday night, I won't be able to be there this week, but get yourself down to Toho Lounge. Cool jazz, great place, food. You feel like you're in Greenwich Village. So enough said there, but get over to Toho Lounge on Thursday night. And then we go on down to the Torrington Symphony Orchestra, Lady Boz and I, with Stan the Coffee Man, right, Stan? We're down there at Cole Park. Wonderful orchestra. Maurice, let me get it right there. Yeah, Maurice Steinberg. He is the, did I say that right? Yes, another Steinberg. Maurice Steinberg is the conductor. The gem of Torrington. And I hear people say, well, it's not my kind of music. Boys and girls, if you didn't grow up in the 60s, you're going to say, well, you can't appreciate the pitching of Whitey Ford. Or if you didn't live in the 1500s, you can't appreciate the Mona Lisa or Michelangelo's David. You don't have to be born in a certain time to appreciate good music. So congratulations, TSO. We went last year. We went again this year. Next year, when it's there, cancel your plans and go. So that's all the shout-outs. Let's get into our show. So the topic today is words from classmates. The assignment was a word that appeals to you. We go over to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12, and it says, the word of God is living and active, sharper than any sword. It penetrates, it divides even soul and spirit. Isn't that cool? Soul and spirit, you almost think the same thing. Soul and spirit, joints and marrow. And then what it does is it judges the heart and where the heart wants to go. So this is an amazing, I think someone's trying to call me, but we'll have to not answer the phone. But anyway, so the word of God is important. So it doesn't say the miracle of God. It says the word of God. And then it judges the thoughts of the heart, right? So the words that you guys pick are heartfelt. They mean something to you. But that's how important word is, all right? We go down to Matthew chapter 8, verse 8, okay? And we talk about the centurion, right? And the centurions were not, into Jesus in those days. They were trying to kill him, okay? He's a Roman soldier, and his servant is sick. And so he actually goes and crosses the picket line, if you will, and says, Rabbi, come to my house. My main servant, my head guy, he's not doing too good. He's Meshuggah, right? So Jesus goes in, and what does the centurion say to Jesus? Says, I am not worthy that you enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my soul will be healed. Again, he doesn't say the miracle. He says the word. That's how important word is and words are to us, all right? And so the words you guys pick are that important. So the centurion knows the value of God's word, and those words transcend to all of us. Let's look at Florence Stovall and Shin. She has a three-name thing here. And she says, your word is your wand. Wow. Your word is your wand. The words you speak create your own destiny. We're going to talk about that at the end, and the follow-through song is going to kind of piggyback that. Your own destiny. So all the words you guys picked, and I know all of you, we got 16 contributors today, and they do speak your language. So think of your word as your wand. What does a magic wand do, right? It transforms, it changes, it makes things better. And that's what we're looking to do here on this show. We're not looking for agreeers. We're looking for listeners, okay? So with Jock and I, we don't want you to agree with us. We don't even want you to like this show. But we want you to go away scratching your head, thinking, not in the milking stall. Jeannie, the first contributor, she says family is the word that appeals to her. The wonderful thing about life is your family becomes your friends. As they get older, your kids become your friends, and you have shared experience, and your friends become your family. And someone else is going to echo that, and it's so true. All of you probably have friends that are very close to you, okay? So the word family is very important to Jeannie. We go down to Lady Boz, and her word is perseverance. And she says about perseverance through the hard times, perseverance will help you handle the challenges. And I know her personally. Lady Boz is the woman of my life, and she's had challenges. During sad times, like when she lost her husband, perseverance will give you hope. Goes right back to our opening statement, wait and hope, right? That these things will get better. They do. Perseverance will help you obtain goals, things that you're striving for. We talked about how she took her 10 years to get her accounting degree. On top of that, raising kids. She also became a United States citizen then and went through RCIA, through the Catholic Church. So it helped her with her goals. And then she says the goals have seemed far away. Okay, so perseverance, when things look like, it's going to be a stretch, like to get that degree, the perseverance is the fuel in the tank. She says perseverance has helped her many times in her life, even dating me. Just kidding. But she is a very persevering person, and she has, came here from England in 1965, had to get used to the culture, getting a job, starting a new life in New Britain, and she did persevere, and I may say so, she came out on top. Storm, and his last name is Steinberg, too, and he's dating my daughter, Emily. Great guy. That's his real name, Storm. His middle name is Ethan, not Window. Storm, Window. Oh, the lady in the back didn't get it. George, could you help her with that joke? All right. His word was authentic. Being authentic means being your true self. I like what Storm says. He doesn't say yourself. He says your true self. So you can't lie to yourself, right? Being your true self always. And conducting yourself genuine. There's a word, right? Genuine. Right, genuine. And having good intentions. So he's a real estate agent, so when he's working with people, he wants to have good intentions, have their best interests at hand. Authenticity is the most, and this is what I love, this line is the best, is the most important pillar of character, right? What does a pillar do? It holds it up. So I love how he uses that word, pillar. So authenticity is a pillar of having good character. He says he surrounds himself with people that are authentic in his business and his friendship and his family. And he says that at the very least in life, be authentic. So if you can't be certain things, we're all not superstars and movie stars. What Storm is teaching us is be authentic. I like his two words there, the true self and pillar. Just imagine that pillar holding yourself up there. We look at Oprah Winfrey has a great quote about words, and then after this we're going to go to the break. The more you focus on words that uplift you, the more you will embody those ideas contained in those words. So we already saw authentic, boom. We already saw perseverance, right, Lady Boz? We already saw family, boom. So we already saw words that people are embracing, and they're carrying those words into their family, into their jobs, into their relationships, things that make us a better person. We got 3 minutes, so we're going to keep moving. We got a lot of people here. So thank you to you three guys so far. Sister Dina down in Myrtle Beach, y'all. She's having, I think, crawfish for dinner tonight. I don't know. But anyway, Sister Dina says her word is patience. But she says, oddly enough, she struggles with that word. And she doesn't practice it always. And in that struggle, she knows that Jesus has so much patience for her and all of us. Boom. But she says she tries to replicate patience with family and friends and coworkers because she's a woman of faith. She's a Baptist Christian. And so she wants to edify that. She wants to replicate what Jesus is patient with her. So sometimes a word that we resonate to is maybe something we're struggling to do. Maybe something we're struggling to become. It doesn't always have to be a word that, I'm good at that, right? It could be a word that we want to aspire to. So Sister Dina down in Myrtle Beach is talking about patience. We have time for another one. From Sister Dina, we move down to my friend Lucille. Lucille says that her word is prayer. Very interesting. Speaking to a higher soul. I love how she calls God a soul. We are made in the image and likeness, right? Speaking to a higher soul on a personal level to do the correct things in life. Goes back to storm and authenticity, right? And life. And she echoes Colossians where it says, be persistent in prayer, right? Colossians, St. Paul tells us, be persistent. You don't always have to be kneeling in front of an altar or in a temple or in a mosque. You could be praying while you're doing the dishes. You could be praying while you're doing chores. You could be praying while you're doing a radio show, okay? So Lucille's word is prayer. And then we look at what Abraham Joshua Herzl, and he's a leading Jewish theologian, he says, words have power. What starts as a sound ends up as a deed. Well, yeah, prayer, patience, authenticity, perseverance. So what starts as a sound, it becomes a deed. It becomes things that we do. So Lucille relies on prayer. She raised 3 great kids with her late husband, George. She has a wonderful relationship with my friend, Fred. And so and she is a woman of prayer. So she walks the walk and talks the talk. I think we're right at 11:30, my good friend Yankee Man. So why don't you take us to the sponsors and we'll keep rolling along.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that and just want to let our audience know that you're tuning into your local community radio station, WAPJ Torrington, broadcasting at 105.1 and 89.9 on your FM dial. Streaming worldwide at WAPJ.org. We thank all of our sponsors for the opportunity to bring you the quality community programming that we do so at this time. And with that being said, we'll turn the show back over to T-Boz for more words of wisdom and moments of meditation.
Thank you, Mickey Mantle. Hamanza, he remembers Mickey Mantle, but he was just a baby at the time. Hamanza Zusha, and he is a inspirational Islamic leader, says, don't ever estimate the power of words. Words can move hearts, and hearts can move mountains. Boom, right? So all of the people that contributed so far, you can move mountains when you're authentic, when you're a prayerful person, when you persevere, right? When you're patient. We look at my friend Barbara, and she says the word, it resonates with her, is love. And if you know Barbara, her middle name should have been Barbara Love, okay? But her word is love. And she says, her life has been filled. Filled, that's a great word. Not has or experienced, but filled with love from friends and family. She says it's an experience. Love is an experience that is wonderful. To experience love, she says, is wonderful. I love that word too. Experience love. Not to just be in love or know love, but to experience it, to have it within you. You know, Emily Dickinson says, some people say that a word is dead when it's said. But Emily Dickinson says, I say it just begins. It just begins today to live. So the word love, so all the words you guys are speaking, they're not dead. Like Emily Dickinson says, they're alive and they just begin to live today. My friend Charlie, he picked the word gratitude, and he is a very gracious person, good friend of mine from Square Dance. The ability to show thanks for and have thanks for the things that you have and the things that you're grateful for. It helps you to grow closer to God. Well, if you're thankful for the things that God has given you, you grow closer to God. And by recognizing all the blessings in your life, and he echoes Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. So are we gracious? Are we truly thankful? You know, one of the people we met at the dance the other night, she's been in this country 13 years. Her name was Lilia, Ecuadorian. I said, what do you think of the United States? She goes, I absolutely love it, in very good English. I said, really? She goes, I love my country, but no place like the United States. Boom. This is from a 13-year, I guess you could say, immigrant, right? So she knows poverty, friends. She knows lack of opportunity. She knows restriction. And so are we as Americans grateful for the country we live in? It's not perfect, but are we truly grateful for those things? We look down at Douglas Copeland, and he says, words are like thoughts, and they are like art supplies. So he's looking at words as art. Well, what do art supplies do? They create, they paint a picture. Well, all of these words are painting you guys, like writing a book. Okay, so words are like art supplies. They help you create the life you want, the life you have. And as Charlie says, be grateful for the things you have. Yes, we talked about wait and hope. It's okay to hope for more, wait for more. But also along the way, my friends, be thankful. I'm thankful that I have 4-degree field of vision. You know what? 4 degrees is better than 0. So I'm grateful. So whatever challenges you have, be grateful. It could always be a lot worse. My friend Susan, who we went to see the Ecuadorians with, her word is resilient. Because of my capacity, she says, to keep trying and not give up. And I'm going to add cave in, because most people would have given up a long time ago if you had Susan's life. Not giving up when adversity and tragedy continues to be a part of her life, she says. She's surrounded by a lot of things, but she keeps coming back. Being able to adapt and to tolerate these difficult circumstances is why I am resilient. All right. So resilient, a powerful word, a good word. I think most of the people in this room are resilient. And I know her life personally, and she doesn't give up. She keeps coming back. Like Lady Boz with perseverance, right? They don't give up. We move over to Alternative Anthems host Alicia. She's on at 6 o'clock in the morning. And if you were born in 1965 and you went to high school in the 80s, listen to that show. You'll love songs from the 80s and some dance music sprinkled in. She says family, too. Family appeals to me. Obviously, our blood relatives constitute our family. But as we travel through life, we bring friends and we bring friends and other people and that resonate with us into the fold of families, which, as she says, as we meet new people, as we grow, and we bring that into the fold of family, and it extends to others. She says she's grateful for her boyfriend George and his son. That's part of her family now, along with her own kids. And she said even you, T-Boz, is part of her family. So, and she is the sweetest person. If you ever met her, she's always good when I go down to these functions, and she introduces me to the WAPJ staff. But she is a sweet person. But she says that family does not always have to be your blood relatives, but the people, like Jeannie said, that you meet along the way. And like she said, George and his son are part of her family along with her kids. So great work there, Alicia. Thank you for contributing. Brother Steve, he says his word is helpful, and he gets that from his father's famous quote that says, don't ask. And Brother Steve says the people can count on him. All right. If he sees a need, he fills it. He doesn't hold up a balance sheet and say, well, let me see what you did for me before I help you. He's always there. He's been a big help to me lately with the farm and my sister and a lot of other people. He is in the contracting business, and he says he has a lot of contacts. And so if people need something, and I know he's helped a lot of people when they're in a predicament and they need the right quality people or the right answers, or if Brother Stephen doesn't know the answer, he'll send you to the person that does, and you'll get the right answer. So helpful. He's been very good with his mother-in-law since she's been widowed 8 years, helping her and including her in his and his wife's life. So helpful definitely describes him. We looked at Catherine, who's been a big part of helping me create this show. Integrity is her word. From an early age, I recognized that the concept of integrity was and is the moral compass. I love that, the compass, right? Because the compass guides you of my life, of her life. By no means have I been perfect. Going right back to Dina with patience. So Catherine, too, recognizes imperfection. That's okay, okay? There's only one perfect person, and he went to heaven. But he had to die to get there. So she says, but when I go amiss, when she goes astray, I try to connect with this value. And she's really echoing Matthew 5:37. Let your yeses be yes and your noes be noes. And so integrity, and I know her from the past, and she is a very person built with integrity. Fred, the birthday boy last week, it was his birthday last week, so belated happy birthday to my friend Fred, and all of us are waiting for Fred to turn 16. He is a very smart, intelligent, hardworking guy, but silly as heck. We have a lot of fun with him. His word is determination. You have dreams and goals, which you do not allow anything or anyone, right? Don't let Uncle, Tony tell you can't do something. Anyone to discourage you on your journey. Only you can achieve or fail. So, and I know his life, the travels from Meriden to where he is now, it wasn't easy, but he too, with his late wife, built a good life, and they were a team, as he talks about. He's a team with Lucille, but determination. And I know him, and he is a very determined guy. My sister-in-law, Lynn, her word is likable. She says, I am a very approachable, non-confrontational person, and most people feel comfortable around me. And her sister, Lisa, who we're going to see Saturday, says about Lynn is like a collie. Who doesn't like a collie? And Lynn is way over Lassie. She is a very likable person, but who of us doesn't want to be likable, right? I mean, we go through life, we go back to Ellen Schumann's book about bullying, okay? What is bullying all about? But people who are not being liked, all right? And I'm sure all of us were victims of that. But Lynn is, and very likable, and people do feel comfortable with her and in her home. So great contribution there, Lynn. My friend Jim, by the way, we'll wish him and Peggy a happy anniversary on Saturday, 1 year. That's quite an accomplishment when you get married a second time. The first time you get married, you're young, thinner waistline, more hair. It's easy. But in our world, when you find the right person, it's a miracle, and it's magical. And he and Peggy are having a great first year. They've had challenges in their new relationship, but they work through it, and they do a fabulous job. Their gardens are amazing over there in Torrington. And good guy, Jim, and congratulations, you and Peggy, on your 1 year. His word is commitment, committed. He says, I try to give 100%. Jim gives 190% to everything I take on in life. He's a committed son, committed husband, committed brother, committed friend to you-know-who. I mean, he is the backbone of our little group. And like my brother Stephen, if you need something, it could be a pencil, Jim will be there for you. So committed, I would have picked that word for Jim. Keith, who was the fundraising guy when I was the president of the RP affiliate in Connecticut, he says his word is caring. Boom. What a great word. He says, I care about those who are close to me, obviously his friends and family. And he says, I care about what's going on with them as well as what's going on around them. I think that's amazing. In other words, he's broadening his view, not just what's in them, what's going on around them. I will put a note in there. He is also a caring person to people beyond his family and friends. When he was the fundraiser, he worked tirelessly to help people of low vision. And it was a non-paying gig, folks. And he treated it like a $100,000 a year job. His heart was in there and helping others like Catherine. But caring, if I had to pick a word for a guy, caring would be my friend Keith. And because of his caring, he reached out to me 3 years ago. I haven't seen him in 20 years, and actually brought our little low vision group together. So let's see how we're doing. Okay, good. All right, Juliet, her word is beauty. Here's a good word. She says, in all creation, there is beauty, even in the ugliest situations. Remember Anne Frank? She said the same thing about being in the concentration camp. We can and should look for beauty. We can admire physical beauty, but not let us forget to always see the real beauty is not in the creation, but in the Creator. Boom. A lot of us have become attached to our possessions and our pets. But those beautiful things that we either own or have, like Charlie said about gratitude, come from God. God is omnipresent. God is in everything. Again, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And what Juliet says is that sometimes we admire the creation and not the Creator. Anything beautiful that you have in your life, it could be a possession, could be jewelry, could be your dog. But before you really admire that, admire the person who created that, the Creator. So, Juliet, great word there. Veronica's friend Lydia, and this is our last one, and then we go to me. Lydia says her word, she has two words, and I put them in there because they go together. Tired describes me, she said, Tommy. After years of managing care for others, I grow weary, but I keep moving. And I think Barbara's going to resonate to this. I keep moving, inspired by my daughter, Krista, who has been a trooper, having had to go surgeries and tests and evaluations. She says, but my daughter has a kind spirit and a smile on her face every day. And Veronica's nodding her head, and we know Krista. I think she's about 43 or 44, but she's had challenges. She's the most wonderful person you ever want to meet. But her mother, it's tiring, right? But her daughter's positive attitude, right? We talked about that. Positive attitude brings her happiness. Lydia goes on to say, friends. Everybody needs friends, at least one, okay? They can come from all different areas of your lives. It could be people that you've known for years, close friends, school buddies, girls that you met in birthing class, okay? And as you go through life, you create these friends, and through illness and all different challenges, but your friends are there for you. And she says her friends have been the key thing that have helped her, along with the smiling face of her daughter, have kept her afloat in all of the challenges in her life. And it's really what she's echoing is Proverbs, where it says in Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all times. Bing, bang, boom. Okay? So, and I know her friends. One of them is the woman in my life, Lady Boz. But a friend loves at all times. And I know all of you out there have friends. Jim, Barbara, friends of mine, Fred, Lucille, and all of you have friends. Charlie, Alicia now is a good friend. We're trying to get to dinner with her and George, but we're working on that. But friends, right? So Lydia says she puts a value on that. What a great word that is. All right, we're getting close to the end of the takeaway. Here's my word. The word that resonates to me is why. Why the wildfires? Why the school shootings? Why illness? Why poverty? Why homelessness? Why war? Do you guys ask yourself that question now and then? Why? Right? The answer to why is not why not. The answer to why is my second word, mercy. God's mercy, as it says in Lamentations, is available to us every day. Mercy is forgiveness. Mercy is love. Okay? And so it's in those awful things that we say why when we get a diagnosis or something, right? Or the finances or the job falls through. Why? But remember that in mercy, in God's ultimate sacrifice, that gets us through the whys. So when the pagans looked at the cross, they saw a dead man. But you know what we saw? We saw perseverance. We saw gratitude. We saw commitment. We saw friendship. We saw tired. We see helpful. We see patience. We see authenticity. We see integrity. We see caring. We see family. We see resiliency. We see prayer. We see love. On that cross, that mercy where people saw dead, we saw life. All of the words that you guys picked, though you didn't know it, describes what we see on Good Friday, describes Calvary. It describes everything that you talked about. And all of that is what's on that cross. And that is what gets us through why. The outstretched arms of a God that took human form and died for us. That's resiliency. That's perseverance. That's patience. That's love. Okay? That's the main thing that gets us through the day. And your words, all of them, though you didn't know it, when you put them together, speaks of the ultimate sacrifice of love. And that is what keeps you resilient. That's what keeps you to persevere. That's what makes you patient. That's what makes you authentic. Is that love, that spirit, we talk about that all the time on this show, is in you. The takeaway is by Rudyard Kipling. He is an English writer. I always have to have someone English on the show. He says, words are, of course, the most powerful drug used by mankind. Boom. So, words, you can really move mountains. You can really help somebody. You can really become the author of your own destiny. Words write books. So go write a book with what you heard today. Be the author of your destiny. You be the author of it. Like we said about the wand, right? Like we said what Oprah Winfrey said, focus. Go and write your book. Be your writer. And take the words that you heard today and the mercy of God and impact the world. You guys have the ability to do that. Jock, you want to tie a bow?
I'm not sure if I can tie a bow to that gift that you just gave us. It is indeed a present as we live in the present, taking in these moments that are gracefully given to us. What another awe-inspiring monologue, sir. I think it's very important that we do understand the power of our words, and the power in those words actually are tools that I believe the good Lord has blessed us with so that we can overcome the pain and the suffering and the evil that exists in this world. And it's through those spirits and those truths that he espouses from that we're able to make a difference in the daily lives of our family, our friends, and those people that we work with on a daily basis. And you don't have to get too granular about it to know that all you need is a little love.
Very good. Listen to the song, everyone. Thank you, Jock, for having me on. Thank you for your tying a bow. You did a great job there. It really resonated, the talk. It's Friday Eve. That's a new word that Jock Williams invented. It's in the dictionary now. Even at the Smithsonian next to his leather jacket from high school. So Friday Eve, the rain's going to move out. Beautiful weekend coming up, only 75, 80. It's almost over, folks. Got another month of summer, and the leaves will be falling. They're already falling up in Canaan. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Jock, play the song. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Bye-bye.